guess it's time to go to work. And we'll grab a donut and be on our way. So, surprise, surprise, I ended up getting the job at the co-op. We don't have a lot of land right now, so that frees us up with a lot of time, and making a little extra money is never going to hurt. So today we are going to be making some spray applications, and that'll pretty much be all for my day. You know, before we get to the co-op, it's looking like Tristan's finally getting some new inventory out. And that's always good because we still are looking for a tractor, and I think he might have what we need. Alright, so we're pulling up to the co-op here. As you can see, we got all of our equipment, and then the main sprayers are inside. Alright, so we're in here, and today we are going to be using the Haggy sprayer. We do have 3 or 4 fields to knock out, and we might have to have the spray rig come behind us so that we can fill up. But without further ado, we're going to go ahead, jump up in the Haggy, and head to our first field. Alright, so it's actually pretty funny because one of the fields we are spraying today is actually one of my own fields, so we went ahead and decided that's what's best for us, especially now since I work at the co-op. There's no need to buy the additional spraying equipment. Nonetheless, we're going to get my field done first, then we're going to bounce over to one of the neighbors, and then after that we have one more field to spray, and then we will be finished up. So the first bean field is actually right here on our right, and we're going to go ahead, hop on in there, and start spraying. Now we've got all the booms folded out, we've got our GPS set in line, we're going to go ahead, back up, and then we will take off and spray this field. Alright, let's go ahead, turn it on, make sure all the booms and the nozzles are working. Okay, looks like they are. So we'll go ahead, shut it off, and then we will start putting some fertilizer on this field. Alright, so we just got done spraying, and now pretty much what we got to do is we do have to do a triple rinse. Once we get done with our triple rinse and get all of the fertilizer out of the tank, once we get done with our triple rinse, we're going to go ahead and switch from our fertilizer over to herbicide. My cornfield really needs herbicide as it's growing weeds really bad, and then the other fields need herbicide as well. So we're going to sit here and wait until the tender truck shows up, then we'll be able to do the proper clean out of this sprayer. The tender truck is finally here, and that means we can move on with our day, starting off by turning around the Haggy and then emptying it out properly and then filling it with the correct herbicide. Now that we've got everything set up and ready, we're going to go ahead and spray out the rest of our booms. We're all sprayed out now, and we're just going to grab the hose and then hook it up here and rinse it all out. Alright, so we've gone ahead and got everything triple rinsed, everything as clean as can be. We scrubbed all the screens and the end cap nozzles. So we're going to go ahead, get this herbicide that's in here, put it in the Haggy, then we'll be able to move on to my cornfield and the other fields we have left. I still haven't redone this road, and this might get a little sketchy. So I do have to say it is really odd to spray on our own field, but nonetheless it's getting done, and it was going to have to get done anyways. So before we get up in the sprayer and spray this, we're just going to talk about how bad these weeds are. I didn't realize they were getting like this, and it's going to start choking out the corn. So we really got to make sure we get the right formulations and the right mode of actions on this field. Alright, so we just got done, and we are going to go ahead, fold the boom up, and head to the next field. So pulling out of my place, one of the places we actually have to go next is Clayton's farm. And Clayton is doing the same thing I am, and he's just hiring out the co-op to do it. Which in the end of the day doesn't save money, but for the size of both of our farms, it's what works best for us. Clayton's field is finally done, and we have one more on the way back to the co-op, and then we will head home for the evening. So while we're up in here, and on the topic of spraying and applicating things, I've started slowly thinking about maybe trying to incorporate anhydrous into my own farm. Basically, I've been learning up about it here at the co-op, and it just seems like a great, thing to do. I definitely think it's something we will take into consideration, especially because there's some smaller bars and tanks that could fit our tractors. Alright, so we're at our last field, and we're about to get into it. So we're at our last field, we are letting this thing unfold, and then we will get right into it and hopefully finish in a timely fashion. So we're ready, let's go ahead, turn the sprayer on, we got the good beep, and now pretty much we're just gonna set the AB line and let it run its course. Now some of these smaller fields are definitely tricky to get in and out of and maneuver, but nonetheless we gotta do it for the customer, and it keeps us in business, so I can't complain too much. It's honestly crazy to think that in no time at all, our crops will be coming up and, maturing. This will be a very interesting harvest for us, as these soil types are a lot different and we're still figuring out a lot of things. I'm hoping to stop by Tristan's and maybe just take a little gander at what they have and see if they have anything that is gonna catch our eye. Finally back to the co-op, so we're going to go ahead, get this thing backed up and park, and then we'll head home. And we're finally out of it. I'm really hoping we get to run this 4940 dry fertilizer spreader sometime, because I think that would be absolutely awesome. Alright, the day is finally finished, so we're going to go ahead and get in our truck. Alright, so we do have a couple of bars. I think this TB17 would fit us perfect. Along with the TB17, these anhydrous ammonia tanks right here are actually the perfect size as well. So I think we're going to try to get something set up when that time comes and put some anhydrous down. We also have these Wilmer spreaders over here. I think these would be really good. They're used for broadcast and dry spreadables. These sizes would also be perfect for our farm as well. Nonetheless, we're going to go ahead, get in the truck, and head up to Tristan's. It looks as if he still has quite a bit of his used inventory, but it's nice that new inventory is starting to flow in. Now, these aren't anywhere near our range, but I have to check them out. So it looks like we've got a 4940 as well, with the dry flowable on the back. Oh man, look at that. 410 8R. That is a lovely tractor. 6125R as well as the 7R, and then the meanest looking machine Tristan has, the beautiful 9620 RX. He does have a 9870 STS. These are really good combines. I knew a couple guys back in North Carolina that ran these. And then he said this is his newest addition. He did get the 8RX in with the big planter. Nonetheless, we can't afford that stuff. We'll go over to the pre-owned. It looks like the neighbor finally got his 4960 traded in. Yeah, stuff is still pretty much normal around here. Oh, wait. What is that? International? It's a grain truck? Omaha Standard. This is honestly what we've been looking for. Huh. Tristan didn't tell me about that. I'll have to come back and ask him about that, because that might be a perfect purchase for our farm. Anyways, he's got a lot of good inventory, but it's nothing we can get right this second. I will have to give him a phone call about the grain truck, because that's pretty much what we're looking for. Nonetheless, the day's growing long, and I'm pretty worn out from all the spraying and changing of the tanks and everything today. So we're going to go ahead, go home, and relax. I am hoping at some point that we can drop the co-op. It's nice to have the extra money, but it's also a lot of more strain on me to deal with my own farm and the co-op. But nonetheless, I'm getting to do it, and it has been fun and it pays good, so I'm not going to complain too much. Man, you can already see those weeds burning up. That pursuit does a really good job. Other than a few various applications, I think we should be sitting pretty good until about harvest. Alright, so we finally got the truck in the shop, and now we're gonna go relax. Morning already? Wow, well, let's see what the clock reads. Yeah, it's 7 o'clock, so we got a little bit. Nonetheless, it's November 16th. Our corn is ready, as well as our soybeans. We are going to check the market and go over some costs, and then do a little paperwork this morning. Once we get our paperwork done, we will go ahead and start prepping for the day. Well, it's about 9:30 now, and the moisture should be drying down. So we'll go ahead and take the truck over to the shed, pull the combine out, and get everything ready. Alright, we've made it to the shed. Now we just got to pull everything out, and then once we get everything out, we should be ready to go. But I also have a huge surprise for you. So let's go to the back of the Quonset hut and show you what there is. That's right, we got it. It was actually on auction on the site, and we had the highest bid. Now that we have this beautiful International, we'll be able to direct haul all of our grain. Let's go ahead, get everything pulled out, and then I'll meet you guys when we get all that finished. Alright, we've got everything pulled out. It's in its place where it needs to be. We've got the 4230 on the auger, and I think we're about ready to get into this harvest. And we'll put that nozzle back. We got the New Holland TR99 fully gassed up and ready, so all it's left to do is start this thing up and cut open the field. Alright, so we've hopped out of the TR99. All we're doing here is grabbing these clumps of corn stalks and just making sure that we're not throwing any grain out of the back, and then it is getting all of the kernels off of the cob. And we'll put back the moisture reader in there. We're running about 16%, and we didn't find much in the debris, so we're going to go ahead and jump back into the field. Right on along here. Nothing has gone wrong so far, and we're actually about to reach our fill level, so we will go ahead and make our first dump when we get done with these rows, and then we will hop right back into it per usual. Alright, so we're almost done, and we can go ahead and unfold our spout. Now that we're done filling up, we can go ahead, lower our head, fire everything up, and then jump right back on into it. Alright, so we've gone ahead and unloaded our TR99. We've gotten a decent bit of this field knocked out, and I want to go take this first load in to get everything checked out. Make sure our grain quality is good, our moisture is good, and everything else is good to go. Once that's done, we will put the rest in our own silos, and then sell it when the corn is at a better price. Nonetheless, let's go ahead, get in the International, and head to town. Alright, now that we're in the International, we're going to go ahead, hit the road, and take this load to the granary. So as we're pulling to town, I am noticing these fields on the right of me, and that reminds me that our next big task is purchasing more land. So we're really hoping that this year brings plentiful bushels and a good market, because we really need it and we need to buy a few more fields. Nonetheless, we are here, so we're going to go ahead, turn in, and unload. Alright, so we're weighing the truck in, and it looks like we're weighing in right about 23,810, so not bad at all. Now we're going to go ahead, go up here, and unload our grain. Alright, so we just got our stub ticket, and it looks like we made $64.52, so not bad at all, not for the grain that we had, and I have to say I'm pretty happy how it turned out. Nonetheless, the rest of the grain is going into storage at our farm, so I'm going to go ahead, run back up to the farm, and then we'll get right back into harvesting. Alright, now that we've got the grain truck parked, we'll go ahead, get in the TR99, fire it back up, and see what we can't get knocked out. So yeah, like I said, we are actually going to put the rest of our corn in our own bins so that we can take it in and make better profit off of our crop. Now eventually when we upgrade and get bigger fields, we will have to implement more grain bins, as what we have now will not hold much more than what we have in these two fields alone. Without further ado, we're going to keep harvesting this field and see if we can finish up. We're once again getting pretty full, and this means we'll have to dump again, so we decided to bring the Kilbros wagons over here. We're full now, so we backed up out of the corn, and we're just going to go ahead, put our auger out, and then wrap around the other side. Once we get these Kilbros wagons full, we'll go ahead and unload them into our first grain bin. Alright, we'll go ahead and pull up over the 4650, make sure not to hit anything, and then we'll start unloading. Alright, pulling away from it, and we've got the first wagon full. I'm really glad that we actually put down insecticide and herbicide on these fields, because Clayton just called and said some of his fields are looking pretty rough. So we're super thankful that we're yielding high right now, and we don't have much weed pressure in this field. We're full again, and that means we have to go unload. We're going to unfill into the second one, and then we will drive our tractor up to the auger and unload it into the bin. Now that we're done unloading, it's time to hop in the tractor and unload these Kilbros wagons. The 4230 is all cranked up and about to run, so we're going to go ahead and let this first Kilbros wagon unload. So as silly as it sounds, we just got a call from our broker, and he actually said to straight haul the grain. For some reason right now, the corn is doing way better from straight hauling than it is saving, so we'll just straight haul the rest up to the granary. We're back up in the TR99, and we need to get back to picking corn, although it's getting close to lunch, so we'll shortly take a lunch break and run into town. Well, we've gotten a few more rows done, and it is now about 1:30. So we're going to drive the combine back up to the shop, get in the truck, and then we'll head to town and get some lunch. Alright, so we got the 99 shut off, and now we're going to head over to the Ford, go into town, and get some lunch. Off camera, we actually decided to finish up corn harvest, as I did not want it to get repetitive. With that being said, we do have an entire soybean field to harvest today. After this harvest, then we have to go and help the neighbor finish up his crops. But nonetheless, let's get on into it, and I will catch you guys when we get in the combine. So we had the combine in the Quonset hut because we were changing the sieves and a bunch of other stuff to get it ready for beans, and now that that is done, we're just going to drive it up to the header and hook it up. And the Walterside is on. Whew! Sometimes those PTOs can be hard to get on. Now that we've got the TR99 hooked up to the soybean head, it's time to go hop in the soybean field and test things out. So while we're in here, I do have to remember we actually have to empty 2 of our gravity wagons that are still full of corn. We'll put those in the bin because the price started going down on corn. We're not going to cut a whole lot right now, as it is still early because it's the next day, and we need to see if everything's operating correctly. All that's left to do is to lower our head, fire it up, and jump into these beans. Alright, so we're out of the TR99, and we're going to go ahead and check our chaff. So there's a bean, there's a couple, there's some more. Yeah, we're losing too much, so we got to go see what the problem is. Alright, and it's done. So we closed up the tailings a little bit, and that should allow us for less grain loss. But without further ado, we will go ahead and start harvesting this field. So we're trucking along, and these beans are very dusty. I'll be surprised if our air filter is even that clean. But nonetheless, we've almost made our first pass around the field, and it doesn't seem like they're yielding too bad. Don't get me wrong, they're not great, but they could be a lot worse. We're going to go ahead and dump into the truck. So the plan is, once we get this full, we are going to run it up to the granary. Then we are going to unload our Kilbros wagons, which do currently have corn in them, into our bin. Nonetheless, we're back into this bean field, and we really do need to finish up soon. So without any more hesitation, let's jump back into this field.
Man, I always had stories about the city life and the crazy nights. Figure I should probably give it a try. Maybe check it out, see what it's all about. But the traffic was fast and the money was slow. The people I met you never get to know. I kinda miss this place I used to live back home. Cause up here it's breakneck, paycheck, rat race, what's next? I'm tired of feeling like a small fish in a big pond. I think I'll go back where I came from, where everybody knows my name. My friends are still the same. I guess the slow life hit me just right, like a bonfire on a cold night. Hell, and you can keep your 9 to 5, happy with the simple life. Yeah, I ain't here to try to change your mind.
Well, the grain truck is full now, and we need to run it to the granary. So let's go ahead, get up on in here, empty our Kilbros wagons, and then head to the Taheton granary. So we hopped out of the International. We are going to leave it running, but now we have to go over here to the Kilbros wagons and unload them into our bin. And the door's shut. Alright, we're back from the granary. We actually made 15 grand off that load of soybeans. It's hard to believe, I know, but the economy is just right for beans right now. So we've got our Kilbros wagons strategically placed where we want them after we got them unloaded. The International is empty and ready to go, and all that's left is to hop in the combine. But with that being said, we do want to finish this field pretty fast, because it sounds like the neighbor is running a tad bit behind due to combine problems, and we might be able to run the truck for him, or maybe even a grain cart or something. I was up here thinking, we did pull the disc out and hooked it up to the tillage tractor, and we made a pass or two just to make sure that everything was in working order. Now I know we have the option of no-till, but I'm thinking we're going to till it up just to see how it may do as sort of an experiment, and then we might even put Anhydrous down. But that all depends on the price, so I guess we'll just have to wait and see. And we also decided that we are going to go ahead and list the stock car for sale as well as the trailer. We just haven't been using it that much, and quite frankly, it just needs to go. Plus, with that money, we could buy another piece of equipment or maybe even upgrade something. But nonetheless, enough of my yapping, we have to finish this field. Crap. Oh man. Looks like an O-ring blew out on the hydraulics. Good lord, we can't catch a break. Well, we shut the TR off, and we're gonna go grab an O-ring from the truck. And we're done. Well, we finally put the O-ring back in the hydraulics, and we should be good to go. We did move the truck up too because it was getting a little far out, but we're almost full, so we're gonna go ahead and load the truck up. So currently we are done unloading and we're back at it. I will say the TR does really have an impressive grain tank holding capacity. With that being said though, let's go ahead and try to knock the rest of this field out so we can be done for the day. Well, we're finally done, so we can go ahead, stick our auger out, and then go unload in the grain truck. Honestly, these soybeans didn't yield that bad. We're going to get about 2.5 truckloads off of this, so I can't complain too much. And with that, the harvest season is complete. Now, while this is sad, we're not completely done with harvest, as we have to go over and help Clayton out a bit. But nonetheless, we're going to get all this stuff moved up back by the shop, the header cart put back on its wagon, and then we will put the auger up. The soybean head is now detached, we've got the gravity wagons in the Quonset hut, and we've got our international grain truck ready to head to the granary. So all that I have left to do is to actually put up the auger. So we do need to go ahead and take this PTO off as well as unhitch it. Alright, so our auger is now attached to our tractor. We're going to fold it up and then place it where we had it before we start harvest. The auger is now detached and we need to hop in the 4230 and put this up in the Quonset hut. Now that the 4230 is put up in the hut, we're going to go out here to our disc and see if it's working correctly. So far I'm not seeing anything bad. We might have a couple of chipped discs, but nonetheless it seems to be working fine, so we'll get on this tillage shortly, but first we need to go check up on Clayton. So we're actually going to go ahead, bring this tractor up to the shop, and we do need to run our grain in. And after we run our grain in, I'm thinking we probably need to get the combine winterized and put up for the year. Now that that's all done, we're going to hop in our grain truck and head to the granary. So a little time has passed, and I actually did clean up the combine as well as a few other pieces of equipment. And then eventually we do have to run that grain up to the granary as well as take our stock car to town and sell it off. But nonetheless, I'm going to go ahead and make the trip to Clayton's farm, and we're going to go say hey. Hey.
How's it going?
Pretty good. Just finished up my my harvest, even though it was just 2 fields.
Yeah, I'm just now kicking off beans, you know. I got all this corn cut finally, but now I gotta move on to beans here.
Okay, well, is there anything I can help you out with? Because, yeah, I'm fully done and kind of sitting dead in the water right now.
We could go get the 4760 in the wagons, and you could run wagons for me.
Yeah, I can do that for you.
Okay, you can just unhook. Let me just go unhook this header trailer, and you can just take my truck, or you can take your truck. Doesn't matter.
Okay, that sounds good. I'll meet you back at your farm. I'm gonna go grab his wagons because he said he wants me to run wagons for him, which I absolutely love being done because I don't have to worry about anything and I get to help out the neighbor. And we're pulling into Clayton's farm. Let's see if we see the tractor. Yep, and there it is. Alright, so we got the F-350 shut off, and now we're going to hop up in the 4760 and meet him down there. Dang, he had this thing fired up. He must have been ready to go. But nonetheless, we're going to go meet him down there, and then we will get harvesting. Well, it looks like he's down there and starting, so we're going to go ahead and just lightly coast down on into this field so he can unload. I'm not going to lie, this is quite a nice setup. He does have the 300 bushel carts, so mine are bigger, but nonetheless, this setup is super nice, and since this farm is just right down the road, we'll be able to unload at a very fast pace. And plus, he has a lot of smaller fields, so that means we should be able to knock these out in a timely fashion.
The game plan for this field is you can just follow me around till I'm full, and then we'll talk later again. But I got some weird hybrid deals planted, and they're not very good looking plants, so I just decided not to cut them.
I don't blame you. So, all right, I'll hop back up in here and then unload you as you need.
Alrighty.
All right, we'll see you. Well, Well, we're gonna go get lunch and take a break, because we just finished our first field, and then when we're done with lunch, we'll come back and move on to the next field. Alright, so Clayton had a really good idea. We got done at lunch, and he dropped me back off at my farm. So here's the deal. We're gonna hop in the International, run our grain in, and then we're gonna use my truck to help him unload. So let's go ahead, hop in the International, and get this grain to the Taheton granary. So we did get his one smaller field knocked out that everybody saw, and then we're going to start on his biggest soybean field yet. Since he only has 2 wagons, this grain truck will allow us to both move his grain faster and to keep him going without stopping. And I'm not gonna lie, this truck does move real slow when it's weighted down, so maybe we won't fill it all the way up like I have been, but then again, it's not over the limit, so I think we're just gonna fill it up. Alright, so we're once again back at the granary. We're gonna go ahead and get this thing weighed in, and then dump our grain. Oh wow, we kinda did run over. Running about 24,000. Guess we just won't tell the DOT how far we're running over. Anywho, let's go ahead, get pulled in here, and dump our grain. Well, we're fully unloaded, and now we are gonna go and head back to the neighbor's farm. Also, while I was unloading, I did talk to one of the grain elevator workers, and he said something that really caught my eye. He said there were 2 pieces of ground over where I farm that are up for sale. They're not too big and they're not too expensive, but he thought it may fit me. So, I guess word's been out that I need new ground. Nonetheless, we can't worry about that right now because we have a task at hand, and that is helping Clayton. So without further ado, we're going to head to his farm and jump into harvest. Alright, so we're just now pulling back up to the farm, and it looks like his combine is still there. So we're going to go ahead and pull this into that field, and then we will follow him wherever he goes.
Hey man, you want to go around the combine for a bit, get this field opened up for me, and I can take this back and get her dumped?
Oh yeah, that sounds perfect. I'll get up in here and I'll open it up for you while you go take it back to your farm.
Alrighty, well, we'll catch you back here in a little bit.
Alright, we'll see you. Well, I guess the neighbor really does trust me enough. He decided that I'm going to open up this field for him, which I've never used a 9470 STS, so this is all new to me, and it's almost kind of like a demo. So let's go ahead, hop up in here, and open up this bean field. Wow, this thing is incredibly nice. I can't believe he trusts me enough to do this. This is an absolute blast. Well, the neighbor's back, so we're going to go ahead, hop out of the combine, and switch in places.
Hey man, how'd you get along?
I got you opened up good enough to where we can get this thing turned around. Did you get everything in the bins okay?
Yep, we put about 500 bushels in there, 400 bushels,
okay.
Somewhere like that, so.
Alright, well, I'm going to go ahead, hop up in the tractor, and we'll get this field knocked out for you.
Alrighty, well, you got your CB on in there, so we should be good to go.
Yep, alright.
Alright, we'll see you.
See you. Alright, so we've been working at it for a little while now, and currently Clayton is running those carts back up to his house. He said he's going to take care of the rest of it, and we ended up using my truck for one load. Well, Chestnut has taken all of his equipment back, and that means it's time to head back to the home farm. Once again, I am so glad that we can help a local farmer out. I think it's starting to become pretty apparent that when I need to help, he's willing to help, and I'm always willing to help him as well. Nonetheless, I've actually been hearing some buzz going on around here that a farmer has moved in and taken over his grandpa's farm. I actually did hear that he's currently out of town, but I'm thinking maybe we can go find his farm and check it out. While driving around and putting the grain truck up, I remembered that we really need to start tillage. That's definitely something we will get on shortly, but it is not a dire need as of right now. I also very much think we're about to get rid of the 350. It's kind of getting old and we need something just a little bit bigger. Along with that, we also are selling the stock car. So with all the money made on grain and equipment being sold off, we should have some pretty good capital coming in. Well, there's nothing new going on at Clayton's farm, it seems. So we'll just keep pushing on forward. Other than a few various fields, we really haven't been out here too much. So we're just going to take a left here and maybe we'll run into something. Well, coming up over this hill, it looks like we have a farm up here. Hello? Huh, nobody must be here. Oh man, dang, he's got a pretty nice setup right there. Absolutely love the bins as well. Looks like he did leave his garage door open. Interesting. Let's see what's in this shed. Oh, he's got a 6105R with bale spikes. I wonder if he owns the cattle barn up over there. Anywho, looks like he is also running a 3600, except he does have the bulk fill. And wow, 9610. We've actually been looking at one of these, and Tristan called and said he got one in with heads too. Wow, Ram 350? That is one setup right there. He's got the Kubota and a bunch of Pioneer seed. Then in here, what do we have? New Holland 116 and a rake. He's got his bean head. Oh wow, a truck just like mine. And it actually looks like he has a pretty nice grain setup. I better get out of here before I get in a lot of trouble. But hopefully we'll run into him sometime. I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a pretty nice setup. But anyways, we're gonna keep on driving and see if we can't find anything else. And here's the barn I'm talking about. Huh, already seems like he has cattle. Let's pull on in here. Oh wow, if that's his 4020, this dude has a crazy setup. Yeah, hopefully we run into this guy. So enough of exploring, we have got to go get the stock car and get rid of it as fast as possible. And that load of grain is done. About a week has passed since we last talked, and we actually found somebody on Facebook Marketplace that wants to buy our setup. That's right, so we're going to go ahead, hook this thing up, and exchange this for some cash down at the Casey's. You know, I'm kind of sad to see the thing go, but we also lost a lot of money to Clayton with this thing. Well, here we go. We're at the Casey's. And just like that, she's gone, and we've made nearly 60 grand. So you might ask, what are we going to do with all this money that we made off of crops, and especially that transaction? Well, I guess you'll just have to stick around and find out. But that'll come at a later date, so let's go up to Tristan's and see if there's any new inventory. Huh, looks like they got a 9600 in. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's a little better than what we have, but there could be better. Holy crap. A 9610 on duals with an 8-row head? Holy crap, it looks like it comes with a bean head also? Goodness, I wonder how much that is. Wow, that honestly might be something to think about. Looks like they also have a 9870 STS in. I gotta get out of here before I blow all my money. I'll give it to Tristan, he really is vamping up that Prairie State tractor. But nonetheless, we're home, and we gotta take a look at something. What I'm ultimately thinking is, we sell off the 4230, possibly get rid of the 4650, and ditch the Kilbros wagons. Now you might ask, what could all these ideas be churning in your head? And I guess that's where I'll just have to keep you guessing. Because right now, we have to go inside and look at something on the computer. Huh. Piece of land right behind us is for sale? Oh, I have an idea. Finally back at the farm, and we've just got all of our grain sold off. Now that we've got out of our truck, and it's parked, I have to break the huge news. Hopping on the iPad here, we have already bought 33 and 34 when we moved, but now we are the proud owners of 38, 39, and 41. Now this is going to be a pretty big undertaking, considering that we only have an 8-row head and not a lot of horsepower on these tractors. We did spend a lot of our money already, but I think we may have something up our sleeve. Nonetheless, the big rocks we have to get out of the way today are tilling up our cornfield and then tilling up our new fields as well. So we're going to go back and hop in the tractor and see what we can't get knocked out. Now that we've got the 4960 up and running, I think we can go ahead and jump into this field. But quick little caveat, I sort of have an idea. What if we take the 4230 and the 4650, take them up to Tristan's, sell them off, and get a brand new piece of equipment? Stick around to see what we decide to do. But without further ado, let's jump on in. Alright, so we're making pretty good progress on this field so far, and we've yet to have anything go wrong, but I kinda wish we had a little more help so we could knock this field out and the others we just bought. crap. As usual, I spoke way too soon. We cracked 3 discs, it looks like, on a giant rock. Well, we won't have to go to the Prairie State Tractor for this one, as I do have a couple spares in the Quonset hut. So we're gonna go grab that, and once we get those back on, we'll jump right back into it. And we've got that fixed. Oh, well, here's the neighbor.
Hey man, how you been getting along here?
We've been getting along pretty good. I had a couple cracked discs from a big rock, but I went to the Quonset hut and got the repairs. So, looking to get this field done. What do you have going on?
Not a whole lot. I've got all my tillage done, so not a whole lot right now.
If you've got your tillage done, since I helped you out on harvest, would you mind coming over here and helping me?
Sure. You know what? I'll bring the old 8300 over here and we'll get her knocked out for you.
All right, perfect. All right, we'll see you when you get back.
Yep, we'll see you. Hey man, where do you want me to get started, man?
I'm gonna have you do this field over here that I was on, and then I'm gonna hop over here and we'll see if we can't get this knocked out.
Alrighty, we'll catch you in a little bit.
All right, we'll see you. Well, thank you for your help.
Yep, anytime.
Well, I'll go ahead and I'll see you sometime other then.
Yep, we'll see you.
Alright, now that we've got our tillage done, I think we're going to load up the gooseneck and see what we can get for these tractors. Hopefully we'll be able to upgrade and get something a lot better than what we have. The tractor is now pulled into the shed, and I think we're ready to load this other stuff up. The 4230 is now up on the gooseneck, and we're just going to come over here and strap it down, and now we should be able to head to town. Like I said earlier, we're very rapidly outgrowing this Ford truck, and we're in a really good spot money-wise, and we're about to gain even more. So let's go ahead and unload this tractor. A lot of time has passed, and now the 4650 is down here as well. So we're sitting really good with money right now. And that means I need to make some phone calls, and we'll see what we buy. Well, everybody, it's been about 15 days since we last talked. And I can't lie, a lot has changed. As you can probably tell, we got a brand new truck, as well as a bunch of other new equipment. So we'll hop out of there. Alright, everybody. This is gonna come as a huge shock, but today we part with the New Holland TR99. The money was right, and a new combine came up for sale, and we had to grab it, as well as a pretty used semi and a nice grain trailer. So Tristan sent out a guy to deliver the heads, and basically we need to pull this soybean head off. Then he is gonna take the combine and get rid of it. So I know what people are thinking. William, how in the heck did you have this much money? Well, I'll tell you how. Corn was at an all-time high. We traded off 2 tractors and an entire combine, as well as a truck and the stock car. Now, if you can do any math at all, that's a lot of money we gained. So, things were right, and we pulled the trigger. We also have another surprise. And you guys are probably wondering, why is this Caterpillar out here? Well, with all the new stuff we have, we need to expand the farm. And what I mean by that is basically we need to come out here and put a new building up. Something that offers us a little bit of a shop as well, since we don't have much room to work in. But without further ado, let's go ahead, get in the New Holland, fire it up, and get this thing loaded up. So it's honestly crazy to think that just in 1 year we doubled, almost tripled our acres. We have a new combine, a semi, and just a bunch of other stuff going right for us. The co-op is also letting me stay part-time, so I don't have to buy any sprayers or anything, and I can just buy whatever I need. Ooh, I won't lie, this is a little sketchy. Now that the TR99 is loaded up, we'll go ahead and let that worker get on his way, and then we will start seeing how they're going to build the new shed. Well, everybody, the big reveal is here. The construction guys finished up about 6 days ago, and when I turn this corner, you guys will see what is revealed. So, here's our new butler shed, and you'll be surprised to find what is inside. That's right, the combine and the semi. A farmer left town and had an auction, and I bought 2 more tractors. Starting us off is probably the coolest piece that I bought. It is a John Deere 4020, and I honestly just couldn't let this thing go. When we got rid of the other tractor, we now don't have an auger tractor, so this was perfect. And then for my favorite tractor we purchased, it's going to be this beautiful 8110. This thing is honestly low hours, and I just thought it would be a really good planter tractor, or if we want some more implements in the future that need higher horsepower, this tractor can get it done. Obviously, I haven't put the soybean head up yet. The corn head can go on that header cart, but this is just going to sit here for now. And then I believe we are going to keep the grain truck, but I think these Kilbro wagons probably need to go bye-bye. But it's the very end of November, and it's starting to get really cold outside, and we honestly have to get some things done. A local farmer called and said he had some wheat that needed some nitrogen on it, so I think we're going to go to the co-op and grab the new tractor, which everybody doesn't know about yet. So I actually am going to take my truck up there with the gooseneck because I actually have to get some seed for the upcoming season. We went ahead and put an order, and it got filled early. But nonetheless, Jerry from work called in and said we got a brand new John Deere and said I was able to come down and use it. So we're going to see what all that is about, and then we'll get over to his field. I will say I'm absolutely loving this truck. I've used it a few times already to haul a couple of those pieces of equipment we picked up, and so far it is nothing but amazing. Word on the street is that Tristan is actually going to have an 8RX demo for his planter, so I'm thinking maybe we'll try a field out with that. I know we probably won't be able to afford it, but he doesn't have to know that. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, we have arrived at the co-op. Alright, so we've hopped out of the 350. Looks like we've got our seed over here. We'll get that loaded up later, but nonetheless, let's go check out this new tractor. Wow, 8230, we got the back duals on it with the weights. This thing looks like an absolute powerhouse. I say we go ahead, jump on in here, and then hook up to an anhydrous bar. Yeah, looking around in here, this thing is really nice. Man, this thing even has the USB so I can hook my phone up and jam out. Alright, let's go ahead and hook this up. We got that, drop the pin in, we'll connect our hoses, there they are. Now we have to do the insanely scary part, which is hooking up the tanks and then connecting all of the hoses. I say this is dangerous because if you inhale the fumes or do anything else, you can go blind and or even worse, may die. Alrighty, the anhydrous is now filled up, bar is ready to go, it's inspected, and the tractor's ready. So I say we go ahead, head to the field, and knock this thing out. While we're coming down the road, I'm pretty sure the one they're saying we can do a demo on is right there, which I don't even know if I would know how to use that thing, but I think it'd be cool nonetheless. Alrighty, we've arrived here at the field. Everything looks good, and I think we're ready to roll. Done. So we're going to go ahead and raise the bar up, we're going to fold it up, and then head back to the co-op. So yeah, that field is completely done, and then I'm sure there'll be other fields that need anhydrous as we go along. So obviously we'll have to run into work when we get those requests and fill it in. You know, it's kind of sad going by the Prairie State Tractor and seeing my old equipment there, but I'm always happy for the growth, so can't complain too much. Alrighty, so we've pulled back in here. We're actually gonna leave the bar connected to the anhydrous tank as it is not empty, and I believe somebody called and said they might use it soon, so we're gonna go ahead, leave this out, and then we really gotta get our seed loaded up. That's shut off, and we're gonna run in here and get on the forklift. I'm thinking now maybe instead of bringing my own tractor up here and getting the small bar and a small anhydrous tank, I'm probably just gonna use the work one. I'm not gonna lie. We can get through it a lot faster. Now, there is some cons, as that might be a little big for a few of the fields we have, but nonetheless, I still think we can get it done in a timely fashion. Go ahead and open the door so we can get out after we get done. I'm really hoping we get to use this Adams tedder sometime soon because it's actually pretty sweet. But yeah, nonetheless, let's get in this little forklift and load these pallets up. Alright, so the seed is on there, and we pretty much just need to go put this back in the corner. This thing is very odd. I mean, it's literally battery ran, so it's not gas or anything like that. And yeah, so we're going to pretty much get everything strapped down. We're going to do a couple bills real fast, and then we are going to head back home. Alrighty, we just got done. All 3 of those pallets were about $40,000. I don't know if you guys know how much a bag of seed is these days, but a bag of Pioneer seed of corn is about $250 a bag, and it looks like we have about 42 on a pallet, so you do the math, and yeah, it gets pretty expensive. Nonetheless, we got it ratcheted down, so let's head on home. You know, I'm starting to think they're never gonna get this road open. They've been working on this thing for about a year now, so there must be big additions coming. And we'll close that. I think we're going to do a little maintenance here, so we're going to grab our little 4020, start this thing up, let it warm up for a minute, and then we're going to go grab the wagons and see if we can't rearrange those. Alrighty, we've got this pulled out, and we're going to do some routine maintenance on these things, because like I said, I think we're going to get rid of them, so we're just going to check over them, make sure that they're in working condition. Wait a second. You know what I just completely forgot about? We could honestly detach these and use it as a seed tender. Or we could just borrow the one from work. I'd say we do that because I don't have the patience or time to get that crafty. Nonetheless, we're expecting a little rain here in a few days. We need to get the PJ pulled into the Quonset hut and just parked so nothing spoils. Alright, the F-350 is detached from the PJ. We're going to go ahead and close the Quonset hut doors, and then we're going to take a little drive. Go over here too and close these up as well. Alrighty, that's lowering and it should be fine, so let's just go do a little scouting. I honestly haven't heard from Clayton in a little while, so I think he said he was going out of town for quite some time. He said maybe his mom was getting a little sick and he just wanted to make sure she was okay. But nonetheless, we're just going to go check up on things for him, be a helpful neighbor because he's been so gracious to us. So we'll go down here and check over everything for him. Alright, here's his farm. We're just going to go over here and make sure that everything's locked up and ready to roll. You know, sometimes I wonder about this dude. Leaving your Quonset hut wide open? We'll just go ahead and close that for him. Looks like he finished up doing tillage as well since we helped him. And oh wow, he bought a Kenworth semi and a grain trailer. Which we already knew he kind of needed because the wagons were getting a little old. What's this? Looks like wow, he got a fuel trailer as well? I hope he's picking up ground, because if not, that's a little excessive in my opinion. Yeah, it looks like he's retired his wagons as they're just kind of over here parked. They're dirty. Like I said, he got rid of those, so he's moving forward. I guess he didn't take his truck. Maybe somebody came and picked him up. I won't worry about it too much. Let's go check to see if his house is locked. Hello? Hello? So yeah, he's not home. Wonder why he would leave all of this. He left a note. What does it say? I knew you couldn't resist sneaking in. Gotcha. Oh my goodness, Clayton. No wonder that man just left everything. He just knew I couldn't resist coming by and checking up. Well, I guess that's all part of the fun. Let's go ahead and get in this truck, head up the road, and see if the new farmer is there or not. Well, looks like he's not here either, but it does look like he has finished up planting his grass seed, maybe? I know he's got some hay stuff. Maybe he's going to get into hay for his cattle. Nonetheless, let's stop being nosy, head back, and check a few things over. Well, home sweet home. I don't think there's much left to do on the day if we're being completely honest. So I guess we can park our truck, head inside. And what does this say? Upcoming year not good yield? What? You're telling me I just bought all of that and the yield is supposed to be nothing this upcoming year? New diseases? Insect problems? Good lordy, I need to rest the rest of the day.